my page per day. And what I notice about the difference between a typewriter and a digital machine is that I'm more conscientious with what words I choose, and there's a certain energy that goes into creation of sentences. So I tend to write more proficiently, and I'll kind of outline ideas. It's less labyrinthine and kind of prosaic and what's the word, loquacious when I'm on a typewriter. So I encourage you to consider exploring. I do a daily writing practice because it's the deep work, as in Cal Newport's work, and it helps me get my mind focused, and it helps me find what I'm unburden and surface what I'm working on for the day. And you can see even in my talking that it kind of gets circuitous. So sometimes I need something that just boom, boom, boom. There are outlines, and I do use countless digital tools. I use like Evernote and Notion and Simple Note, and I have a Remarkable with a Typefolio and an Astro House Freewrite and all kinds of things. And those all serve their purpose. People will often say, you can just remove the Wi-Fi card or whatever from your computer, and that's what people did initially when they wanted to use a computer, and that's definitely okay. There's just a certain energetic that comes through the screen as well. So when you're typing and you're seeing the screen and you're interfacing with that, and then that's refeeding back in, it's different than looking at a page. Like, there's a certain refresh rate. If you ever watched that Century of the Self documentary, Americans adopted this refresh rate on the TV, which made it the most addicting possible. Most other countries did not do that. So you have a whole generation of people who just stared at the TV because of this refresh rate of addiction. And it's the same with computer screens. What they ponder is how to make this thing the most addictive as possible. If you're addicted, if you're in the addicted state, if you're in the, I'm going to lean toward that, you're being lured in, you're not going to write from the same centered strength, groundedness that you would write from your personal essence versus your persona, which is, the Greek personality, the mask. So I like to try to write from my persona, from my essence, from what's in the center of me, from what's been there forever. And it's a subtle distinction. I can feel when I flow in and out, and that's okay. This is subjectivity, the uncertainty principle, right? However, there is a certain magic that comes out of the typewriter, and people want to defend the computer. Like, the computer's an alluring, beautiful thing. Like, an iPad's beautiful, an iPhone's beautiful, a Samsung phone is beautiful, whatever. That's fine. It's just you're sacrificing some of the depth of your work for beauty, for beauty in the wrong place. It's like Khalil Gibran wrote, verily I say, the lust for comfort murders the passions of the soul and walks grinning through the funeral, right? So if you're taking too much of a lunge toward convenience, you're murdering the passions of the soul. Elect a little bit of inconvenience, a little bit more of a work ethic, a little bit more of like deep work and physicality, because there's another aspect of the typewriter, the physicality, like embodied writing process. Hemingway would put the typewriter on a shelf and stand writing. I like to stand writing oftentimes as well. Right now I'm sitting. In the morning I'd sit here. I had a Turkish coffee, which I don't know how to make. It came out terrible, and I sit and write before eating, before doing most things. And the embodied process, the using of the body to flow into the words, makes a big, big difference. Like, Nietzsche warned that philosophies that come out of someone sitting are always like limited because they're not coming out of the full body. And so he would walk for hours and hours and 6 hours and 20 miles as he came up with his philosophies, he's one of the deeper thinkers in human history. Of course, he reached the limits of that and went mad, so to speak. I'm sure there's more to the story that we don't know about. Anyway, I encourage you to consider that advice and just consider how to use the body. I like the Astro House Freewrite, and it's a little clackety. It feels like an 80s computer. It's okay. It doesn't have the physicality. So though it's distraction-free, being distraction-free is not the only measurement for a good writing device. And until you've written on a typewriter, at least enough to gain some proficiency, some fluidity, you don't need to come and say, computers are way better, because you're just reiterating the programming, right? And you're in the wrong place. Go to the rest of the world. Why are you coming to this little niche of those of us that celebrate vintage writing tools and saying computers are way better? It's a complete waste of time. Perhaps you're trying to convince yourself. I don't know. I just noticed some comments like that, and I'm like, why are you here? Go to like Apple's page and say computers are better, and get that dopamine hit of like everyone saying, yes, of course they are. They're the greatest thing that's ever existed. They are very useful. And if we each have a supercomputer in our hand that's full of unlimited potentiality, the world should hypothetically be a very gorgeous, beautiful place where everyone's productive and everyone has every system tracked. I like that building a second brain, Forte Labs work. That's very beautiful. However, you know it's not like that. Most people are sitting in addiction. It's the curse of the newness. Ooh, it's like if you read Hooked. It's not Hooked. It's the guy who wrote Indistractable. He helped Nir Eyal. He helped people make social media companies more addictive, and people were saying the common argument is like this digital technology is more addictive. And he's like, no, it's human propensity to be addicted. When bicycles came out, men would leave their wives, go ride around the countryside the whole day, and their families would fall apart due to a bicycle, a new technology. I supremely doubt that. I'm sure there's one or two people that rode a bicycle until their family fell apart. For the most part, that would burn out, right? Now we need 30-second clips of like half-naked women and bright colors and staggering music to keep us hooked on anything. So that's the TikTok. If you're going to compare TikTok to a bicycle, you haven't thought this through entirely, and you're not familiar enough with how that works. Now, there's compelling arguments for that. I just don't agree with it. I think it's kind of ludicrous. Just ask a question: is a bicycle as addictive, or are rollerblades or some other an electric bicycle as addictive as TikTok or whatever? They're not designed to be. So it's okay. And also, you're more in your body when you're doing those things. So to become addicted, you need to be right up in the head center. Forget the rest of the body. I'm right here, right? Or else you're in your limbic space, your instinctual center. The point is, find a thing that works for you. If anyone on here says a computer is better for writing, then just show me your written works and I'll see what they look like. Most people who say that are arguing with themselves and they've never written anything. I have friends that insist on writing on computers and iPads and things, and they never complete anything. Don't let that happen to you. Complete something that's profound for your soul. Take the learning plateau of learning a new tool that will work and crush this lifetime in the sense that you're doing what you came here to do. And it's not, if you're not even a writer, what you came here to do is get clarity and move to the next part of your vision. Beautiful. A typewriter can help with that. So I'm obviously a typewriter enthusiast. This is an opinion. People say, you're just like stating your opinion, man. Yes. Yes. And then they come back with, the computers are better. To flip it, the projection, you're just stating your opinion as well. Don't replace one opinion with another. Align your opinions so that your life works, as Werner Erhard might say. So, hi, I'm Stephen with Classic Typewriter. Let's take over the world with vintage writing machines, if so inclined, or sit in front of a computer. I wish you well. I did that so many years. It can be powerful too. I'll see you on the other side.